Whoops. I didn't want him to get within a second of me. This could be dicey if I get this wrong.
Nice one, Ian. Great win. You deserved that today.
Nice little flash of the lights from Jakob there. And after this, it all went wrong. Why? Because I screwed up. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is the sort of video that I've never wanted to make, but I also felt that it was important that I did. Now, the content that I post, usually I post races that are interesting, they're fun, there's a bit of action, there's a bit of humour, that sort of thing. I don't always post the races where I win. And there's a reason for that, because usually I go out to the front and nothing really happens, and none of you want to see that. You would rather see a fight through the pack, you'd see some incidents, you'd see some action, and that's where the fun of sim racing comes in. It's not always about the winning. Yeah, that was said by a loser, wasn't it? But in this particular video, I want to show you why you need to remain calm at all times. Now, this week with the TCRs, I was taking the Cupra to Autodrom Most, which is somewhere in Czechoslovakia. It's a track that I don't know, and it's a track that is challenging, is probably the best way of putting it, but it's actually really good fun. And I did a bit of practice at the beginning of the week because I didn't know it. And then I played around with setups and I still couldn't get the car right. Now, thankfully, Go Setups have started putting their setups for the Cupra TCRs back online again. And that was a massive help. So at the beginning of the week, I did a few races and there weren't many people in the races, but I wanted to try and get my safety rating back up. That's taken a big hit because of Assetto Corsa Competizione and the way that it works on there. You get hit, you're going to lose safety rating regardless of whether it's your fault or not. And I was gradually starting to build that up and also starting to get some good practice and good results at Autodrom Most. Now, my lap times were pretty good. I was getting into the mid 139s with the Go setup. With my setup, I was probably mid to low 140s. But I knew that wasn't going to be quick enough to beat the quick guys. So after the end of the race you've just seen, where there were 9 people involved and I won the race, and it was pretty dull. I started from pole, I led from the beginning, and I led till the end. So not really any content there. And later on in that evening, there was a race with much more people in it. We had 13 drivers and we had the likes of Daniel Watson in there. Now, Daniel is fast. He's a little bit ahead of me in the championship in Division 1. I'm currently sitting in 9th, but a lot of the guys in the top 8 have not driven this week yet. So I thought, well, I'm quick enough. Let's see what happens. I qualified in 3rd, and then it was all about getting a good start. The start was amazing. The rest of the race, not so amazing. So here we are sitting on the grid and we're behind Daniel Watson. Stefano pushed me down to 3rd by about 200ths of a second, and it was all about trying to get a good start and trying to get away from Daniel. Building up the revs, getting the turbo boost. See the red line around the little N on the bottom of my dashboard. The lights go off. Daniel got a terrible start. Stefano got an okay start, but mine was better. And I'm thinking at this point, okay, we've got turn 1. Turn 1 at Most is horrible. It's all about braking at the last minute and trying to get in without knocking another car. We had a little bit of contact there with Stefano, but we all got round clean. And I'm now thinking, this is fantastic. I'm in the lead. Daniel's in 3rd. Stefano's behind me. I know I can go quicker than this. I just need to keep it on track. Braking into the chicane using a little bit of curb on the inside. Short shifting up to 3rd and trying to get the drive out for the hairpin. Daniel's managed to get past Stefano. I then need a good run out of the hairpin to see if I could get away from him. Down the hill, and we're now coming up to a right-hander, which I really struggled with in practice, but with this setup, it worked. The trouble is, if you go wide, you lose all drive, and that's exactly what happened. And this is where it started to go wrong. Already, I've got 3 cars gone past me. I needed to stay with them. So, trying to stay nice and tight to the right. And my issue here was I'd put my tyre pressures wrong. They were a little bit too high and I was getting a lot of understeer on cold tyres. So I was struggling trying to stay with the 3 guys ahead. Daniel was down in 3rd. I knew he was quicker than me by about 0.8 of a second. Coming into the last 2 right-handers, needed to hug the curb here and I missed it. That gave the opportunity for Silas to get up the inside. And then behind, we had a little nudge from Alex and that pushed me off wide again. Trying to get down the straight, trying to get momentum, and I'm already hemorrhaging places. At about this point, I realised I'd made a massive mistake. I'd missed my braking point already. My braking point was about 10 metres further back, and I knew that I wasn't going to make this corner. I moved to the right looking for a gap, thought I'd found it, missed it, and I ended up wiping out Alex. And this was where I just didn't know what to do next. And it was all about trying to salvage what I had. Why did I make that mistake? I was impatient. That was why. And looking at my driving afterwards, I was going wide on pretty much every corner. And there wasn't much I could salvage. I did come back to about 9th place, but that wasn't where I wanted to be. So where did this go so badly wrong? Here in the lead, trying to pull away from Daniel and from Stefano behind, I was quite confident. I'd driven this track probably for about 2 hours during this day. This was the mistake that cost it all. I always hold my breath going through this corner. You need to ride the curbs and stay off the curbs on the outside, otherwise you lose the speed here. Now I'm frustrated, and this is where you need to keep calm at all times. I'm down at 4th. If I stay with them, I could still pick something up here, but I didn't. Now this is the key point. I'm where I should be on this corner to then get into the next right to try and get the drag onto the main straight and down to the chicane again. And I've got 3 cars in front of me, but we do have Silas on the right hand side. Now Silas has got a good run out of this corner, as you'll see, and we'll just move it forward a little bit slowly. He gets past. Okay, he's got the line, I can see him, all is good. There's a car in the rearview mirror, number 22, that's Alex. Now, I start to turn in to try and get the cut back on Silas. I've got the line, I've got my apex coming out, but on the bottom right hand side, you can see Alex's car. As I start to come up to the apex, Alex is all over the curb on the right hand side as far as he can get. I should have probably given him a little bit more room here. It would have made sense. I didn't. I didn't think he was going to carry on with that move. Unfortunately, he did. And that's what sent me wide and then heading towards the grass here. That then slowed me down even further. And at this point, I'm massively frustrated. Everyone's coming past. Roger Keller's come past. I've moved over to the right. I should be braking. Now, I didn't, and I just missed that gap and took Alex out. At the end of that race, I looked back at the replay a couple of times because I couldn't work out who had actually hit, and all I could think about was I need to apologise to this guy because I had screwed up massively and ruined his race. Now, Alex is not as fast as me, but that's not the point. I ruined his race. He could have been a lot further up in that race than where he ultimately ended up. After I'd worked out who it was, I started to message and then realised that I had 3 messages straight away in Spanish. There's a lot of Spanish drivers on LFM, and he was not happy, and I completely understood why. And he said, I'm going to report you. What were you thinking? And I get it. He's right. And I had no excuse other than I moved over to the right hand side. I was frustrated because of what happened at the beginning of the race from my own stupid fault. And then what we then decided was a racing incident between Alex and myself. And it was a racing incident. I should have given him more room. He was already committed to the corner, and it was just one of those things on a first lap. But ultimately, by going on the right hand side, I'd made 2 massive mistakes. One, I wasn't just sitting back and waiting for it all to happen in front of me, because there was every likelihood someone else could have taken someone else out. And 2, I couldn't see my braking point. My braking point is on the left hand side. There's the 100-meter board, and I brake about 5 meters before it, all the way down to first gear, ride the curb into the chicane, and all is good. And I missed it by about 10 meters, and that's a lot on that corner. I had no chance of stopping. As soon as I realised it was then I need to look for a gap. The biggest gap I could see was just in front of Alex, and I was hoping he wasn't going to turn in and he'd see me coming. That was stupid. He'd never seen me coming, and that's why I took him out. We then sent a lot of messages back, myself and Alex, because I really was completely apologetic. It was my fault. I'd actually thought at the time he'd taken me out on the previous corner, which is why I was wound up even more, and it wasn't a retaliation move, and I wanted him to know that, because to be fair, coming up to turn 1, I wasn't sure who it was that had hit me in the first place, and to pick them out of 8 cars and nail them like that, I'm not that good. It wasn't a retaliation move. It was purely a frustration move. I made a mistake. Learn from it. I've now learned from it. Alex and I are now friends again. He's accepted my apology. He's not going to report me, although I did say you'd need to, because actually my safety rating didn't drop as much as I thought it was going to. And it was a stupid move on my part. So the point of this video wasn't really to show you so much about racing. It was to show you what not to do. When it goes wrong, relax, regroup. Think about what you've been doing time and time again on every lap. When I look back at my previous race that I'd won, I was within 0.2 or 0.3 of a second on pretty much every lap, apart from 1 or 2 where I was overtaking back markers. And if I'd gone back and thought, right, I know this track, let's get back to those laps, I could have been back up there in the top 3. To be honest, I shouldn't have lost the win. I think Daniel would probably have overtaken me in the long run anyway, because he was a lot faster than me in quali, but it's not an easy track to get round. So a slightly different video. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and hopefully you'll subscribe and you'll like the channel, you'll like the video, and you'll comment away of what your thoughts are. You don't need to say I'm an idiot, I already know that. But what I do want to add is man up to your mistakes as well. If you make a mistake and you take someone out, get on there and send them a message straight away to apologise. 99% of sim racers on LFM, World Sim Grid, World Sim Series, whatever it is, they're not professionals. They're people who want to be racing drivers but can't, for usually financial reasons, but some of them talent as well. But put your hand up. Sorry mate, didn't mean to do that. Sorry mate, the dog ran over my foot while I was braking. Whatever it is, you will make more friends sim racing that way than you will enemies. If you just leave it, people are going to report you. To be honest, I've never reported anyone on LFM. I've been taken out many times. There's a number of reasons. One, there's a cool down period. Great idea that, because that gives you a chance to send someone a message and then maybe alleviate an issue and maybe explain from your point of view what you did wrong. But if you did something wrong, put your hands up, because that usually solves the problem. And just to close off this video, Alex, thank you, and I'm so sorry, and I do look forward to racing you again on track in better circumstances next time, when my head's a little bit better in the game. See you on track.